There's Greg. Eee! All right.
Hey everybody, this is Brittany here from Surfing Waves of Light, and it is a balming 46 degrees outside here in New Jersey and sunny. And at the end of this channeling video, I'm going to jump in the ocean. So stay tuned if you want to witness that. But for now, I took a yoga class this morning, and as I was driving there and during the class, I was getting so many good downloads about our dreams. Not the ones we have at night, but the ones that we come into this lifetime wanting, about feeling, about money, and just all sorts of interesting things. So I'm going to bring the Arcturians through to let them speak, because that's who is speaking through me right now. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to go jump in the ocean. I wanted to record this video on the beach, but it's windy, and I felt guided to have better volume than cool background. So love you all. I hope you enjoy. Greetings, dear beings. We are the Arcturian Council, and we are ever so pleased to be with you today. This morning, we were nudging at our dear channel's ear. We were poking her in the back, because this is a transmission that is one of clarity, one of preciseness, and one of a message that we feel is really at the forefront of what is needed at this time. And so you all are familiar with the 3D Earth Life game as you're playing it every day. And in this game, there are children who evolve to become adults. And through that process, there is a major conditioning that occurs. You are aware of this. You go to your schools, you learn from your families and from your cultures about how to behave and who to be and what to do. And so as you grow up, you become adults, and in this adulthood mindset, there are different considerations that are attended to than in the childhood mindset. Children are free. They do not worry about money or where they're going to live or food in most circumstances, and they're able to navigate their day from this sort of more inspired flow, unabridged place. And yet, as you become adults on this plane, there are units of measurement of which you call money. And this number in your bank account or in your possession or in your possibility for earnings determines how many of you think on this planet and how many of you dream. And so you have created this correlative idea in your mind that the amount of money you have is equivalent to what you can do on this plane, as everything here is measured in units of monetary value. It takes 10,000 units to do this, or 200 to 500,000 units to do this. Buying a house is 1,000,000 units. And so this way of thinking severely blocks the ability to dream, because this world has tricked you into not even being willing to admit what you truly want. And this is something that we have been working with this dear being about. She grew up, she became a nurse, she followed the steps that made her an appropriate adult. And so in that process, she lost the heart map that was given to her at birth. This map that comes from the heart, this is the dream. This is the true dream of all beings on this plane. So many of you, we could pose the question of, what would you do if you had 10 million units of monetary value in your bank account? And most of you would say, oh, well, I would buy a big house and get multiple nice cars and live by the beach, or so on and so forth. And while this may be an aligned and accurate dream for some of you, we implore most of you to look into beings who already have this amount of money and things and see where you think they fall on both the happiness scale, the joy scale, the peace scale, and the love scale. Because what we have seen through this being is that there are many humans incarnate that have lots of units in their bank account, and yet they are not truly happy. And so we digress. We find that many of you say you wish to hit the lottery so that you can win 10 million units or 50 million units or an exorbitant amount of units so that you can acquire these things. And yet we are here to tell you that your dream on this planet is not to acquire things. It is not to acquire a house. It is not to acquire cars. It is not to acquire anything. Your dream is a way of living that comes from your heart map, which was placed within you, was a part of you as a younger child being. And as you grew up into adulthood, you lost that map through the monotonous and so unloving conditioning that is on your plane, this planet at this time. So when you say that you wish to win the lottery to acquire units of monetary value, we say this is not going to happen because it is not aligned, because you are not aligned with your dream. So before you wish to acquire abundance on this planet in whatever form, we are telling you that that will not happen unless you know what your heart dream is, what your heart map said. Because when you come into separation, you decide that you have a life that you wish to experience here. You have goals about the sorts of experiences you wish to have. And all of these experiences will come to you in this lifetime if you dare to dream them. And so truly, most of you on this plane look in your bank accounts and you do not dare to dream. You actually pretend that you don't want things that you do because you know you can't have them based on the logical thought patterns of needing money to have the experiences and things that you need. Now, sometimes your dream will require you to need a big house, or it will require you to have a car, or so on and so forth. But when you are thinking about what your dream is or feeling, because we're going to talk about that in a second, when you are feeling into what your dream is, it will not be a thing. It will be an experience, and then the things will come to make the experience happen. If this being wanted to fly around the world on a private jet so she could view every continent from a more higher spatial experience, then she would manifest a private jet, not because the jet would be in her possession, but because it would be required to accomplish her dreams in this state, in this dimension, in this dynamic. And so we want you to know that at this time, it is of the utmost important work and the most loving work for yourself to really be honest with yourself, to go into the heart space, to go back to the younger years before the conditioning and ask yourself, what did I pretend to be? Who was I pretend playing to be? What was my favorite thing to do? What was my joy? What did I love? And we promise you that there will be at least crumbs, if not giant cupcakes worth of information within those experiences as a child. The reason the conditioning must happen so fast on your planet is because beings are love, and it is easy for you to resonate with that frequency. And so the conditioning comes in to lower you down, to doubt yourself, and to implore that logical, so-called logical explanation of how to do and get things on this planet, which is money. And these units of abundance, they limit you and they prevent you from dreaming. Most of you, including this being, sometimes will not even be willing to admit what they want because of this logic that is so deeply ingrained and so in place. And so this is a twofer, right? We are saying, make sure that you are willing to dream truly and aligned from a place of love, from a place of pureness and innocence. And also remember that you are conditioned into the logic, and we don't want you to be so caught up in the logic, because that prevents you from even dreaming in the first place. And now, all of those ideas aside, there is one more big thing that prevents you from dreaming. And it is the inability for the majority of the beings on this planet to truly feel. We notice that the streamlined life on this planet, the grade school to high school to college to job to retirement to house to baby, this path is so ingrained that most beings will cloud their energetic field with muck and dirt and heaviness in a brainwashed, full steam ahead attempt to accomplish these normal cultural goals. And so many beings are finding themselves in this place of deep unhappiness, but unwilling to look at that, unwilling to really feel, unwilling to really feel how they feel about their jobs or about their children or about their spouse or about their living situation, about the activities they do, because they are so programmed to fit in that they would never want to go outside the reaches of the normal cultural society. Much of this is changing, and yet the conditioning is quite hard. And in this area where this being lives, New Jersey, the northeast of the United States, there is a deep, deep conditioning. Deep. As her friend Jo so beautifully said the other day, the meaning of adulthood in New Jersey is to give up on one's dreams. And we highly concur with that. For we see beings all the time trading in their soul energy, their heart map, their path of love and light to make money, because money is highly valued in this area, on this planet, in all beings. There is a high desire for that monetary value. But the more important thing is that when they give up their soul's plan for that monetary unit, they relinquish the ability to feel. They are afraid to feel, because if they felt into how much they didn't like their job or their circumstances, they would have to come up against that logical idea of the money train. And so it prevents beings from truly feeling. Many of you say, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm doing good. And yet deep within there is a chaotic energy of, we're just trying to keep afloat. We just have to keep afloat. I just have to do this thing for a little bit longer, and then I'll have enough money, and then I can do this, and then I can live my dreams. And most of the time, by the time you get to that place in the society, your dreams will be so deeply pushed down, and so much muck will be in your field that it will take immense conscious clearing effort to get there. And so we say, skip the hassle and come straight to the heart. Go to your heart plan, go to your aligned plan, figure out what your real dreams are, and do that by feeling how you feel. Because you cannot feel the anger, the hurt, the shame, the discontent with the things in your life, you also are unable to feel into what your true dreams are. And so that's where the clearing process comes in. We talk about this a lot. This process right now, it's a clearing out of the deeply ingrained and old, and then taking on each new experience and trying to fine tune them to a little higher vibration, and not letting in that deep conditioning anymore. This can look in a lot of ways, like taking yourself outside of the Western messaging systems. It can mean hanging out with different friends who will support this way of living. It can mean spending more time alone and saying no, so that you can cultivate this inner energy, this inner time that allows you to heal and clear and bring heart-centered, loving guidance to the surface. For even if You have a field full of muck and rake, your energetic field we are referring to. If you set your intention and point your concentration to wanting to know your heart's true dream, your heart's true path, we can dig through the muck and streamline you straight into it, even if your field is so clouded. Now, this may look like someone being 500 pounds overweight and wanting to be a dancer. Will they be able to become a dancer overnight? Well, of course, yes, they can dance, but it may require the clearing of the field, the releasing of some of that heaviness, that weight, in order to fully express, to be able to fully move the body. And yet, it is just in the knowing of the dream that even no matter how deep down in the third dimension or the heavy lower frequency thoughts you are, if you know the dream, if your true north is set, if you know what experiences your soul came to have on this planet, then you can from there take the next step and the next step and do the clearing work, which anyone can do if they have just a bit of time, looking at the thoughts that are coming up and clearing and moving and shaking and becoming the experiences you were meant to be. Because truly, you becoming, you living out these experiences, it is inevitable. When a higher soul makes a plan of this kind and quality and wishes to implore it, it will happen. That is where the more overarching God's plan comes into place here. But you can choose to defer that plan for as long as you want. That is the free will choice. The choice is always, the decision is always, what choice do you want to make? Do you want to make choices towards living out a pure, unconditional, loving life, which means loving yourself, which means having experiences which will be both good and bad, but will allow you to have the experiences that your soul craved. And from there, you can live out your life and you can move past the wanting of experiences in this third dimension, which clears the way for the ascension process, for not needing to come back and reincarnating here. So if your dream is to be a dancer and you are not making steps towards living that dream, well, you can work for ages and eternity and never be a dancer. You will pass on, and in all likelihood, your consciousness will come back because it is still craving that experience. And that is a view we wish to share with you. The soul comes in here to be in a body, to feel, to experience, to touch, to love even the things that are not pleasant, and to fully be present in experiencing them. So for as long as you push off what you want and you keep your field mucked up with the obligation and expectations that have been ingrained in you through the 3D lower frequency consciousness energies, then you are just pushing off your destiny. That is what destiny is. Destiny is you fulfilling the plan that you came in here to experience. And what a beautiful thing it is. There is no right or wrong. It's just a matter of time. How long do you wish to spend working? How long do you wish to spend not believing that you're worthy of the life that you came here to live? And again, this comes with a practical aspect of, you don't need to jump off the ship, but you can start to take steps. You can take a dance class. You can start to stretch. You can do more yoga. You can change your diet. You can do a million little things to help push that needle in the right direction. And as you take the inspired, aligned action that the universe calls for, the universe will make everything come together in the most perfect symmetry we could not even express to you in words, and that your minds in the separated state could not even imagine. This symmetry will lay out a life that is full of surprises, full of excitement, full of love, full of all the spectrum of emotions, ones that you will deeply endear having the opportunity to experience when you are back, when your consciousness is back here with us in the more pure unconditional love state, as we are working toward the God state every day as we've chosen separation in a different realm, in a different dimension, and we are working to bring our consciousnesses through helping you back to that pure oneness state. And so it is with great joy that we ask you today to begin to feel. It is the most courageous thing you can do. Earth training says do not feel your emotions. Do not allow yourself to be honored and valued. It tells you that you are not valuable and therefore your emotions are not valuable. And we warn you, when you begin to open this can of worms, it may seem wild and crazy and a little all over the place. But just take one emotion at a time and express that emotion, journal that emotion, talk about that emotion, and then figure out what the mind change switch is that you need to make in order to start shifting that, so that that emotion is no longer triggered. It becomes the choice for peace. For every decision that upsets you, every interaction with another person that triggers you or you judge or anything like that, every time you have that experience, you choose to figure out how to make it peace, or you choose to ravel into the emotion and density of it and clog up your field. And so that experience will continue to form in your consciousness as long as you keep those feelings down, suppressed in the sub and unconscious or light conscious. And so every time you have an interaction, the decision is, do I want to make peace with this, or do I want to stay cluttered? And every time you stay cluttered, you push away the experiences that you wanted to have when you came here. And so we have talked about many different topics and complex sort of relational understandings in some ways, and in other ways it's very simple. Every moment is an opportunity to decide for peace, to decide for love. And you, as beings incarnate, it will be a cycle, and every time it will get a little better and a little better, like a little twister, until one day you will come to a point of pure peace where triggers will not trigger you because you've done the work, because you have embodied compassion and understanding and love, not really and not only for others, but truly for yourself. Because when you truly love yourself, you know that judging others does not serve you, because it is you. And so you are judging yourself. And we know that isn't always easy to see in the third dimensional consciousness of separation, but it is the truth. And we know that that truth will resonate deeply within your heart. We wish to leave you with a quote by a beautiful writer who wrote the book, The Alchemist. And that quote is, when a being wishes for something to happen, the entire universe conspires to make that thing occur. And so many of you who are into the conspiracy theories, often the ones that are more negative, we want you to conspiracize about your true aligned dreams. And we want you to know this in your heart, that if you can identify, if you can clear the feelings and identify your true dream, your true heart map, your true heart plan, from an aligned place, the universe will conspire. Imagine all the resources you dedicate to the lower frequency agencies that you associate with many of these conspiracy theories. The universe will use all of those energies and more that you don't even know about. But imagine the power you give those. Now give that conspiratorial power to your dreams, and know that all agencies, all beings, all energies, earth, Arcturian, extraterrestrial, fairy, dwarf, even demon, all those energies are going to conspire to give you that experience, because that is the beauty of this planet when you can tap into it. And you are all worthy of that experience. We feel we have said enough for today. We will continue to expand on this topic. We love you all so very much, and we wish for you to know that we are always with you. We are the voice inside your head, the feeling self that is of love, that tells you that everything is okay, that we do not judge you. We only love you no matter what you do. And that is what pure unconditional love is from our perspective. And so if you have enjoyed this transmission, then we highly recommend that you come back for more, that you allow us to continue to infuse our energy into your experience, for we feel we bring a beautiful concoction of opening, of truth, of understanding, and of love and forgiveness, one that is much needed here, a medicine that is much needed here on this planet. We are the Arcturian Council, and we are so pleased to be with you, and we will speak to you again at another time. All right, everybody, those are my guides. They are talkers. That's been 25 minutes. I'm going to jump in the ocean now and record it, and love you all. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Go, Britt! This is post plunge. Got Greg and his foot here.
What's that?